And but then you might be really cautious the next time, and boom, well, we finished too early, so we got that wrong. We made it too easy for ourselves. And then eventually, your ideal is you want something for this, so you know, like this, and you know exactly how much work you could get done in a month, and you knew what you foresee all the problems that were going to pop up, and you got exactly the amount of work done that you expected to do, and it took exactly, and it was really smooth. You didn't have any hold-ups, and you didn't have to crunch to get it done. So.
Like Scrum talks about people standing around a board, like shuffling pieces of paper around a board.
Yeah.
How does that information end up in the computer as a burn-down chart? That's something that we have no problems with.
Oh, okay, right. Well, there's a good free program called Scrumworks where you can get the basic version for free. But you can just do it with an Excel spreadsheet. Like there was this joke in Microsoft that, like Microsoft's got this Microsoft project, and to make that, it's like a product management tool. And to make that, they use Excel for their project management. And so they had this joke that said, like, yeah, Microsoft has a really good tool for project management, and it's called Excel. So, but Scrumworks is a bit better because it does basically when you've got all your tasks, you fill in this backlog, and then all the tasks just appear in a list, and then you just tick a combo box like I'm working on this and how many hours it's going to take, and then it just logs the graph day after day, and you can put up a web server to look at that, and you give you this nice burn down chart. And so there is software to do it, or you can just do it with Excel. But yeah, basically when you've had your sprint planning meeting, when you decide what you're going to work on during the month, that's after that someone just sits down and punches everything into your tool on your spreadsheet, and then day after day, at the end of the day, at least once a day, you tick off the amount of hours that you've done, and it shows this chart. And you can tell pretty quickly if there's a big hold up, and if you need to, someone needs help with a problem, or if you miss assessment or something. And then at the end of the month, everyone puts their shirts on and gets some PowerPoints together and does a demo and like pulls out the game console and on the phone or whatever, and just hands it around. Everyone has a play, and you can show all the management how you met the goals and everything. And it's a good set of finality, like good feeling of finality, like you got everything done on time, and hey, you've actually got something to show for it. So, yeah.
You said that at any point you should be able to release a product within a month.
Yep.
I'm assuming there's a certain amount of minimum time before you can actually be able to do that on a project, because like say you're making it from scratch, then you wouldn't have the engine completely working.
Do you think you could make a game in a month or a prototype? Like, it'll be really minimal. Like you could make noughts and crosses or something, but I mean it would be out there. You could finish it in a month. So you're aiming to have like maybe the first month it's a bit much to ask, but according to the Scrum system, like after month 2, like you would have a game that could go out. And it might be a really crap one, but it would be polished and it would work and it wouldn't have bugs, and it wouldn't be a world beater, but hey, it would be a game that would be out there. And then you take that and then you enhance it and add to it. And I think it's a bit unrealistic to expect that after one cycle. But after a few cycles, you'd want to hope that you would have a minimal game there that was kind of fun. And because there's no guarantee that after the first couple of months, maybe a year later, if it wasn't fun at first and if it wasn't a good game then, after a year of polish, like it still might suck. So you kind of want to nip it in the bud, and you want to do the best you can every month and have the best possible release of the product every month.
How does it fit in with running efficient systems and stuff like that? Because I know there's a policy that basically do your make it efficient later on, do profiling and make it work first and do stuff later on.
Is that like the optimization?
Well, Scrum or?
Oh, I guess you just release a slow game if you release after a month. But yeah, like it's it's like Donald said it's like there's the one evil of coding is premature optimization, and so yeah, I think that's I guess it's a funny question. You just I guess you would release a slow game if you're following the Scrum methodology. And it would still be a product, it wouldn't be as good as if it was fast, but I mean, if you did want to release in a month, realistically, that month would be optimization, and that would be all the tasks on the backlog. So if you had a month's notice, you would say, okay, well, the game's got to go out this month, it's just the optimization sprint. So I guess that's how it would fit in. Unless anyone else had other ideas, but yeah, I think you're right, I can't see it any other way. Like you do your optimization at the end. So.
I was just going to say, you're unlikely to, I'm just trying to put a different line on it, you're unlikely to get more than, say, 10% performance gain in an optimization cycle, especially in a month-long optimization cycle. What you're probably better off doing if you're just talking about like technologies is keeping the technology really, really small but fast. So doing less but doing it really well. And if you want to add features in coming months, you can do that later.
Yeah, have good algorithms to start with. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you talk about early optimization, it's obfuscation that he's talking about.
Yeah.
So like writing stuff that's not readable, actually making it fast is something you should just do anyway.
Because yeah, I've found it, especially these days, like trying to unroll loops and doing all this crazy stuff that makes the code unreadable. It's often I found it better to go back to my uni textbooks and look up the real proper algorithm for doing it. Because that's the other thing in the games industry. I think people love to hack and come up with their own way of doing things. When like there's probably a mathematically optimal solution out there that's beautiful, and it might take a couple of hours to learn, but it'll do the absolutely best mathematically proven possible job of doing the job that you're trying to do, and won't have bugs, and that's probably what you should be using for it. And so I think, yeah, if right from the start you pick the good algorithms, I think that would be better than later on trying to unroll loops and do other optimizations. And I found like on our WiiWare game, like our experience of optimization was that basically we made a few simple changes. Like we discovered that memory allocations on the Wii were really expensive, and so we coded up the game on the PC. So all we did was just go in and write our own little memory manager, and boom, fixed all these speed issues. Basically, it was like a 50-line fix, and it just went through all the code and just made it super fast, and like we were just hitting 60 frames a second consistently, when before we were having like big load spikes with like 1 frame a second, and it was all fixed by basically 50 lines of code. And because it was really small, like the actual code that did all that, it was really simple and unoptimized, and then we just fixed one little thing, and suddenly the whole game ran a lot quicker. So yeah, I think it just comes down to like, getting the right algorithms to start with, and I don't think they're necessarily more obfuscated. You could black box them, I think.
If I may ask a question, I guess this is a question that kind of has to draw from either experience or kind of knowing how it's happened before, but if you applied this methodology to a large-scale development project for games with a publisher, and publishers do have a tendency to come up with sometimes extreme demands on a 1 to 2 month notice, like we want a working build for E3 that has 3 levels when you've only got 1 working. Examples like that. How would you adapt the Scrum kind of methodology when, in those cases, the kind of things that save your bacon are those dodgy hacks and those last-minute kind of changes that...
Well, straight from the horse's mouth, one of the founders, he just said, find better clients. Either stand up to them or find better people who are prepared to work with you and know that it's better to do good work than sloppy work prematurely. And but I mean, other than just putting in a branch and then regressing all that and doing it properly afterwards, like having some serious refactoring afterwards, I think you just got to be assertive and try and bring the customers online, and hopefully the fact that they're getting regular updates every month that'll make them happier than working in a conventional sense. But really, to be realistic, like you can't turn around the way the whole industry's set up. I mean, this sort of milestone system is really ingrained, and